Hi, everybody. I am doing chapter 7, which is a very short chapter, but very good chapter. One that is encouraging to us as we look at personalities, either our personality, our friend's personality, our husband's, our children. We all have different personalities. And this book is really good at least giving you some idea as to those personalities. So this chapter is specifically about our author, and he tells a story about going into his one of his professor's offices to talk with him, and the professor had done a personality test on his student, so he was in there talking about what was on that test. And the professor says, well, I've got good news and I've got bad news. And so the author says, well, give me the good news first. And he says, well, you're a real people person. And you're going to do really well in life because you like people so much. Okay. And then he says, well, what's the bad news? And he says, people with your personality profile never finish graduate school. So, and the author of our book says on page 122, he says, I discovered at last that God had made me a certain way. He gifted me and made me to be outgoing and people-oriented. His primary goal was not to ungift or unmake me, but to control me. Change would come as a byproduct of his control. I could actually enjoy being myself. What a freeing truth. So God made you and me and everybody in the world a certain way, a creative way, and he has a purpose and a plan, a good plan for each one of us. So no matter what personality you have or combination, God's got a work for you to do, a plan for you, and it's good. So it reminded me of a story in the Bible about Saul, and he was mentioned earlier in the book, that Saul was a zealot for God. He followed, all the laws, all the eating laws, all the holidays, everything in the Old Testament. He was just so detail oriented and was driven to do that. And yet he was missing the big picture of what all of those things in the Old Testament pointed to. So when Jesus came and died on the cross, Saul was still focused on all those details that he had learned and grew up with, but his personality was just so driven. He was a D personality to the extreme, and which was great. The way he was wired. And when Saul started persecuting the Christians, and because they weren't following the law. And then Jesus met him on the road to Damascus and blinded him, and the story goes on. And Saul is renamed Paul in the New Testament, and wrote a lot of the the New Testament. So Saul was not changed in his personality. God, Jesus, moved in, and the Holy Spirit took control of his personality and directed it towards what it should have been in the first place, which was to preach the gospel, talk about the one true God and his son, Jesus Christ, and all of that. So anyways, the author here just knows that his personality, under the control of the Holy Spirit, will take him exactly where he's supposed to be. And that's a good thing. That's a freeing thing. You don't have to change who you are to do a good work. So, and then also Proverbs 22:6 says, start children off in the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. So this talks about the way they should go, not how you want them to go. You don't change their personality. you use their personality and direct it in a correct way. And then when they choose to, if and when they choose to follow Jesus, the Holy Spirit directs that personality in the way it should go, okay? So if we raise up our children looking at their personality and the way they're wired and their giftings and direct them, use those things to direct them in life, that's a good thing. They'll have a good life. So anyways, okay, so that's that. And then these here, these pages that have the D and the I and then the S and the C, I think I'm gonna copy these and keep them with me, because these are just like quick look at things, like when you're thinking about a person and you can look at this and go, you know, she really does, you know, like security. I'm a S personality for the most part. I like security. I like appreciation. I like assurances. I like areas that have specialization. I identify with groups, certain groups. I establish a definite work pattern. So, you know, when you're looking at people's personalities, these are just kind of easy shortcuts to go, oh yeah, she's definitely a, yeah. So, enjoying it now. I like it now. I didn't start it out but I like it now. So, chapter 7, all done. See you soon.